I recently looked at how many attacks are required to beat each boss in Dark Souls at Soul Level 1. A commenter, sorry I'm not sure how to pronounce your username, suggested finding out how many attacks are actually required to beat the game. First, we need to define what an attack actually is. For the purposes of this video, I'm defining it as any damage dealing or combat action. So for example, any sort of melee attack, shooting an arrow, throwing a damage dealing item such as a firebomb, and casting damage dealing spells will count as attacks. Spells like Power Within and Fall Control won't count as attacks, as there's no direct way to deal damage with them. But then we have some things that are a bit more vague. Rolling, for example. I don't think most people would consider rolling normally an attack, but with the Thorns armor set on, rolling deals damage. So I'm going to say rolling doesn't count, unless you're using the Thorn set, in which case it becomes an attack. How about kicking and parrying? Neither directly deal damage, but I feel they're both combat mechanics and should count as attacks. Then there's falling. Falling on its own shouldn't count as an attack, but it can deal damage to enemies if you happen to land on them. So I'm going with, if you fall on an enemy, it's an attack, otherwise it's not. For summons, simply put, their attacks will count. And like in the last video, an attack is going to refer to actions performed by our character. So if an attack hits an enemy multiple times, it still only counts as one attack, as we only performed one action. Glitches are fair game, as we're trying to see what the absolute lowest attack count possible is here through any available mechanics. Maybe I'll look at a glitchless route in the future. This video is going to have some overlap with the previous one, so the result may or may not surprise you if you've seen it. With all of this said, let's begin. To start things off, we're going to choose the Hunter class and the Master Key as our gift. The Hunter starts with a bow, which is going to play a critical role in this run. Avoid the Asylum Demon, run around the bow hollow, and make your way to Oscar. Here's where we're going to change things up from a normal quick run through the Asylum. Open the door at the bottom of the stairs and grab the first bonfire. Now go up to the hollow at the top of the stairs and lure him all the way back to the first ladder. Bait him into falling down, and then quickly run up to where we can pick up our bow. Wait here for the next hollow to come around the corner, then pop in view of the next hollow so they both start following us. We want them to come around the corner independently, otherwise they can get stuck on each other and block the path forward. Once you've got both of them following you, take them down to the ladder room and bait them into falling. The first hollow will be stuck on the ladder with his AI broken. I believe this happens because we unloaded the ladder with him still on it when we ran up to get our bow. But no matter the reason, he now acts as a semi-permanent obstacle and will prevent the other two hollows from being able to get back up. Now for the hard part. We want to perform true Asylum Skip using the Fog Gate glitch, but there's, as far as I can tell, nothing we can do about the bow hollow without wasting an attack. First we'll want to drop an item at the right corner of the Fog Gate. From there, try to set up the camera angle for the glitch in between dodging arrows. Aiming with our bow will lock us to the correct angle. From there, if you get hit, you can just move back into the corner of the Fog Gate with the angle preserved. Next, dodge one more arrow while still zoomed, and then quickly unzoom and attempt the glitch by pressing A on your controller, followed by E on your keyboard 1 frame later. You can still be hit while your character is turning, so you have to hope the hollow waits long enough to shoot an arrow for the turn to finish. Also, make sure you have enough health when you do the jump. When everything goes well, you can jump over the Asylum's wall, land on the ground below, and be out of the Asylum without using a single attack. At Firelink, you'll want to grab the humanity off the well, and then, like most runs we do here, head through Anorondo ruins into the Valley of Drakes. On your way through the valley, grab the soul behind the door, the soul between the dragon's talons, and the red tearstone ring. Carry on to Darkroot Basin to get the grass crest shield, and then make your way up to Andre. At Andre, we're going to use the brightness dupe to use 99 of the first soul we picked up, then we're going to buy 999 wooden arrows, and use the prompt swap glitch from the standard arrows to the longsword to buy 999 longswords. You'll need to drop the standard arrows we started with to be able to buy 999 longswords. Bringing up a prompt on the longsword after this will store a quantity of negative 998 in memory. We can then use the brightness dupe to drop negative quantities of our soul and humanity, duplicating them. Make your way up the parish, grabbing the Firekeeper soul, then return to Firelink. Head into the burg, jump through the gap in the wall, and climb on the nearby ladder. Climb back off of the ladder and turn around as your character finishes fully standing up to end up on top of the ladder. From there, you can roll out of bounds. Carry on forward to the female undead merchant. Dupe some souls and buy 99 purple blooming moss clumps and homeward bones. From there, drop down a couple times to end up in the depths. Once you're here, you'll want to make a tight jump onto the next tunnel. Normally, we'd rescue Laurentius from out of bounds here using a firebomb, but doing so would cost us an attack. So instead, we're going to carry on a bit further to get back in bounds. Now we just need to navigate through the depths backwards. The only enemy you really have to watch out for here is this Torch Hollow, as he'll block the tunnel leading back to the entrance. Once you're past him, getting to Laurentius and freeing him by rolling should be no problem. Return to the burg, this time heading to the male undead merchant to buy the residence key. Get to the lower burg through your preferred method, fire up the dogs, and free Griggs. With the pair rescued, level up, getting at least 14 attunement and 10 intelligence. Buy the Bellowing Dragon Crest ring from Griggs, then get the Pyromancy Flame from Laurentius and upgrade it to plus 15. Next, we're going to head into Blighttown. The normal fast Blighttown drop I do here requires a plunge, so you'll either want to do the speedrun method, or just take the longer normal way down. Make your way over to Quaylana and ascend the Pyromancy Flame to plus 5. After this, Quaylana usually dies under mysterious circumstances so we can get Fire Tempest, but that would cost us an attack, so she gets to live this time. While we're down here, we'll also want to trigger Quaylag's cutscene so we don't have to do so later. Return to Blighttown again, this time following this specific path, so we can get power within without having to deal with most of the enemies. The first section involves rolling at a tight angle to land on the ground below. Here you'll want to run into the wall, then turn the camera and jump as soon as you have the angle to clear the wall. If you get inflicted with toxic while climbing the following ladders, use a purple blooming moss clump. Wait for the ghoul to come down the ladder, then bait him into falling down. In the final section, bait the wall hugger into an attack, and then roll past it and grab power within. We're not done with Blighttown just yet, as we now have to perform Firelink Skip. Follow this path to the pillar, but don't plunge when dropping to the slope scaffolding like we normally would. Heal up before dropping down, then backstep immediately when you land as there's a kill plane directly in front of us. Save, quit, and reload to reset the death cam, then jump over the dark spot on the ground in front of us to trigger the death cam and avoid the kill plane. From there, jump over to the branch off to the right without plunging. Carefully walk down to the lowest point of the branch and drop down. You'll survive the fall with the death cam active. From there, navigate your way through the swamp into Quaylag's boss room. Once there, you'll need to blindly navigate your way to the stable ground of the staircase beyond Quaylag's boss room, where you can save and quit. Upon loading back in, ring the bell, and head down to Quaylag's sister. Dupe some humanity, join the Chaos Covenant, and offer all of your humanity to Quaylag's sister to get Chaos Storm. After warping back to Firelink, it's time for one final trip into Blighttown to get the Firekeeper soul. The final thing we need to do to finish setting up is grab the Firekeeper Soul from New Londo Ruins. Now we can finally make some progress. Our next task is ringing the bell beyond the gargoyles. There's no known way to skip them on Remastered, so we'll have to take them out. The room leading up to the gargoyles can be annoying, but there aren't any required attacks. Bait the Baldur Knight into attacking, and then run around him, and bait the Hollow blocking the doorway out to get by him. As for the gargoyles themselves, we'll need one attack for each of them. Getting Fire Surge before the gargoyles wouldn't save us any attacks if you were wondering. It costs 2 attacks to perform Sen's Gate Skip, 1 for the parry and 1 for the riposte, and 1 to kill the Hollow holding Fire Surge, so using Chaos Storm is more efficient. Ring the bell, and we're off to Sen's Fortress. On your way through the fortress, grab the Ring of Steel Protection. The only enemy that can really block your path is the Man Serpent on this stairway. Leer him back towards the Blade Trap, and let them knock him out of the way. After that, the path is clear. The Baldur Knight outside of the Iron Golem's arena can also block the way, but he'll eventually move on his own. We'll also want to let him hit us a couple times to set up the Red Tearstone Ring. The Iron Golem himself is an easy one-shot with Power Within. We could do Iron Golem Skip, but it would still cost us 1 attack, and the one-shot is easier. Head into Anorondo, and have the Dark Moon Nidus upgrade your Estus Flask to +3. There are no attacks required to get through Anorondo. The only enemy that's guaranteed to be in your way is the Silver Knight Archer, and he's easy enough to bait off the ledge. For those of you who watched my previous video, what we're going to do next is going to look extremely familiar. Head over to the Giant Blacksmith, buy 99 Twinkling Titanite, the Giant set, and upgrade the entire set to +5. Next, we'll want to trigger Ornstein and Smo's cutscene, then quit out. We can then perform the Fog Gate glitch like we did at the Asylum, to enter the boss room without touching the fight's trigger. We'll want to use Power Within, and make sure we get a one-shot on Smo here. Equip the Giant set, the Ring of Steel Protection, and wait for Power Within to wear off. When it does, pop a Humanity to heal up, and touch the fight trigger to spawn Super Ornstein. Now it's time for the hard part, the reason we maximized our defense and upgraded our flask. We need to get Ornstein to grab us near one of the windows and fall out of bounds. You'll want to lure him over to the corner by this fog gate, and then position so Ornstein's back is facing the window. This is because his grab starts with him jumping backwards. When you see him start the grab, you'll want to quickly wrap around him so he grabs you while he's facing the window. This will cause him to walk through the wall and fall to his death. Thanks to his glitchy grab, only 1 attack is required to beat Ornstein and Smo, and we're only at 4 total attacks so far. Get the Lord Vessel from Guinevere, return to Firelink, and head to the altar. At the altar, we're going to perform arguably the most game-breaking glitch, the Force Quit Wrong Warp. This will put us straight in the kiln, avoiding any attacks that would normally be required to get there. Along the way to Gwyn, we'll want to equip the Giant Armor and let the first Black Knight hit us with his running stab attack to set us up for the Red Tearstone Ring. There are no attacks required to get to Gwyn, so just save and quit when you get to his Fog Gate. Upon loading back in, use Power Within, and enter the fight. Use the rock on the left to avoid Gwyn's first attack, and give us a bit of extra time to cast Chaos Storm. With the right RNG, we'll take him out in 1 attack, putting us at 5 attacks total. And that's about it for this video. Only 5 attacks are required to beat Dark Souls Remastered. I hope you found this video entertaining, and I will see you guys in another video.